is Jordan Mason the greatest running back of all time? Or is he the next Marion Barber? I saw, who was it that said that he was Greg Rosenthal said
Okay.
he had a lot in common with Marion Barber. I mean, same number, same kind of upright running style, similar hair. Marion Barber was
They
a
both
good
wear
running.
24.
Yeah, I mean, he was a good running back for the Cowboys. What do you think?
It's interesting because the Marion Barber, Marshawn Lynch, like somewhere in there, he falls somewhere in there. Marion Barber, though, was never, I don't know that he was ever like a full-time starter.
He never ran for 1,000 yards in a season.
Yeah, he was never a full-time starter. Now, he did have back-to-back seasons where he averaged 4.8 yards a carry and had 24 total touchdowns. Like,
He
that's
did.
pretty big.
He
But
did.
more of like he was kind of at the beginning of that split back type era where it's like, okay, he's going to come in and close out games, or he was going to get the touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the player that he was. I think Mason can have a better career than Marion because he's probably going to go over 1,000 this year, barring injury. That'll be something that Marion Barber never did. So from that standpoint, I think he can be more productive. But as far as the style of play, I actually think that they are very similar. I don't have a problem with it. Marion Barber was a good player, man, and he was physical. You're right. He ran kind of upright. But like I said, Marion Barber, Marshawn Lynch, Jordan Mason, I mean, they're all kind of the same, really, as far as stylistically.
Maybe stylistically, just in terms of like the violence. But I just feel like in terms of the production, Jordan Mason is more special. Like he could
For sure.
lead the league in rushing this year. He could set the franchise record he's on pace to set the franchise record for rushing yards. Like
That would be
that's
wild.
special. And it's not just because he's in the right place at the right time. Like we've seen a lot of running backs here, and it's never quite looked like it's looked with Jordan Mason. So like someone I would compare him to, and he's a different running style, but it was the same system and had the same like burst onto the scene. Arian Foster.
Aaron. Oh, Aaron Foster was
Arian
so
Foster
good.
was undrafted. He went to Houston, didn't play much his rookie year, and then in his second year led the league in rushing.
Mm.
Just led the league. He casually ran for 1,600 yards as a 24-year-old sophomore on Houston. Jordan Mason can do that. He's that good.
What are the 49ers do with Mason? He's a free agent next year. Now he's restricted,
Restricted.
but let's say he goes out and somebody's willing to give him a 3-year, $36 million deal. Like, do the 49ers match that? Like, what do they do, man?
I think what you
This
try
is
to do is
interesting.
extend him right now. Like the way they extended
Oh, for
Juwan
sure.
Jennings. Hey, here's a 2-year deal. Hey, let's give you some security, man. You're running hard, man. Let's give you like they should extend him tonight. Is he not
Yeah, I
eligible though? He's
agree.
not eligible though, is he? Can't do that.
Oh yeah, 3 years you have to
Can't do
accumulate.
it. Ooh, good
He
for
he
Jordan
is,
Mason.
however, eligible after the regular season.
Hey.
So as soon as the playoffs start, especially if CMC comes back and starts eating into those carries, I think that's the perfect time to be like, hey, I mean, listen, you're just a
Hey, man.
complimentary guy now.
Stock's only gonna go down from here.
We'll give you a 3-year, $24 million.
They gotta keep him. He's too good. You can't just I know he's a running back and they have Christian McCaffrey, but do you have Christian McCaffrey? And are you gonna get a better running back for your team than this guy? I mean, he's so good.
Listen, Christian McCaffrey's a great name. Dre Greenlaw, great names, but they're both coming off of some sort of Achilles something. The players' names are the same. I don't know if the players are going to be the same, and that is a deciding factor. And Jordan Mason right now, they have to figure out a way to take some of the load off of his carries. Otherwise, he's going to end up in the same scenario. I mean, do you really want Mason to get 25 touches a game through most of the season and then go into the playoffs after? No, they have to figure out something, man. They do.
Real quick, talking about extending restricted free agents, Juwan Jennings before this season agreed to a 2-year, $15 million extension. Do you think he's regretting that right now?
Oh, he's regretting it. The 49ers are loving it. This is
Right.
very much like what they did with Greenlaw.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's,
Kind
of
of
course,
reminds me of
he's
what they did
regretting
with
it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of what they did with Mostert. I believe they gave Mostert an extension before 2019 because he was their number one gunner. And they gave him like this special, you're the best special teams guy contract. And then it turned out that he was their best running back. And I think he threatened to hold out, or maybe he requested a trade. He got a little upset because it's like, man, I'm your running back and you're giving me a special team contract. That's not fair. So it'd be interesting to see if like Jawan really goes for 1,000 yards or 10 touchdowns or both. If he comes
And
back
he
as like,
holds
oh,
out
you
next
know
year.
how I'm holding out now. This is ridiculous. I'm worth $31 million a year.
He could. He certainly could. That's the crazy thing about the league. It's like, yes, you've got him under contract, but that doesn't mean that these players can't hold out. I mean, if he balls out, I don't know that Jennings is the type, but I didn't think that Ayuk was necessarily that guy either.